You wrote an article in a magazine that I was reading, and you were giving people tips, partners, those who have partners, on how to groom your partner. But now my first question is, why should we groom our partners? Why don't we just leave them the way we found them?
Show me a woman that wants to leave her partner and not groom him.
I mean, we should. I mean, like, when you met him, he was like that. You fell in love with the person, the way. Why can't we just leave them like that?
Lorraine, you know what? When you love somebody and you see something in them that the outside world can't necessarily see, just like we dress ourselves and it's an extension of our personality, we know that for us what comes as second nature, and for them, they might not be so aware of, why not? Why not assist them? Why not wanting to make them look as strong to the world as what we know they are? And as long as we can do it in a way that is supportive, and that's what they see, not as being wrong or being inadequate, I can't think of why a partner wouldn't welcome it if we could present it in a way where we're not irritating and a nuisance and, bugging them. So,
but how do you groom your partner in a way that you don't make him feel as if you're trying to change him, or maybe you don't annoy him as well? How do you do that?
The best way to do it is to be gentle about it, and the one thing about guys they have super sensitive radar when it comes to female manipulation. So there is absolutely no way that you're going to bamboozle him into this. So don't even try, be really sincere when you approach him, and just say to him, look, when you dress this way or that way, it feels to me like you're an extension of me as well. And if you like the way that I dress, I would love to extend the courtesy and be there for you. So feel free to ask me questions, or, and if you're going to propose something for him to wear, be prepared. Know what you want him to wear, and present it in a way that he's going to be receptive to it. So pick something for a start that that he actually likes to wear, and include that, even if it's his socks or his underpants, it doesn't matter, and start there. There are all sorts of things you can do. You can say to him, I'll reward you afterwards, and you don't have to do it there and then, but you can tell him now.
And so it's all about letting him, telling that, what, I'm not changing you, let's try it out.
Exactly. So, what has he got to lose? He's not being controlled. He's not wrong. All you're wanting to do is you're wanting to show up in the world strong and in his masculine leadership kind of way. And you're going to be right there by his side. And whatever he ends up doing, even if he doesn't follow suit, just appear that you're proud of him, no matter what he looks like. Like when you have a child who's got one color shirt and another color shirt, you still put your nose up and your shoulders out because it's your child. You're not ashamed of them. So whatever he ends up doing, still be proud of him and not let that change, because then he will feel manipulated. And it's not about changing them. It's just about assisting them with what comes naturally for us, because we do have a keener sense. we think about clothes. It's high up on our value system, not so much for them.
Then what, like for instance, you have a partner, which men with their egos.
Yes.
How do you deal with a man that you're trying to assist then there, but he still comes back and say, you're trying to change me, I cannot do what you want me to do? How do you deal with that?
The same way you lead in a feminine way in a boardroom. You let him blow off steam. You let him say whatever he wants to say. Have you ever watched men in a boardroom? They all talk at the same time. Everybody wants to say their say, and everybody wants to be right. And when it comes to men and egos, if we want to call it that, it's important that they feel that what we're wanting to do supports them, not overrides them. That's the most important thing, because the moment you're going to say to him, but I can do it better, or what I do is right and what you do is wrong, that's the key. It's not what you say, it's what he feels when you tell him something. So as much as they don't think they feel, when you make him wrong, he's going to show up from an ego space and go like, no, no, no. And the other thing is, you know, we must remember men are not coming out of caves anymore. They are much more conscious of what they wear. They have facials, you know, they take care of themselves, they groom themselves. So if you now criticize what he does, he's going to think that what he does is not good enough. And that's not at all what we're wanting to do. You only want to enhance it. And if you can portray it in that manner, and only, you know, so mention it and then give him a chance to respond as much as he wants. And then whether he's interested or not interested, support that decision. Don't push. Leave it.
Don't push, just leave it.
And then tomorrow you can subtly put something on the bed that, or you buy something, and it's the little comments, you know, it's the little things that we do that everything just enhances. Oh, I noticed that's the kind of thing you like to wear. What do you think of this jacket? I'll take it back to the shop if you don't want it. You know, there's lots of things we can do, but it's how we appeal to them in a way that makes them feel more loved, more supported, and that what we have is available to them. As much as they want. And the most important part is if you get a compliment, because people will tell you, not him. Tell him.
Yes, that's true. So they'll come to you, your man is looking good, then you have to go to your man and let him know.
That's an ego fixer, big time.
So now I want us to get to the 10 tips that you also wrote in the article. I just want us to get in more detail into them. So we can start with the first one. You mentioned express your needs honestly.
Yes.
Can we get into that in detail?
Yeah. The most important reason for the honesty is because he's got radar that's going to go, oops, she's wanting to manipulate me. So if you're not honest, you're not going to get the response that you want. You know, it's as simple as that. And there are people who like to play games, but if you're going to play games, you must always be one up on him. And why? It's unnecessary.
And it is unnecessary indeed. And you also say, notice any resistance in his body language. So when you're talking to him, with this one I just want to understand more. Are you trying to say that while you're talking to him, you also need to be aware of the way he's reacting towards the change that you're asking him to do?
Yes, you know, men don't talk as much as women, we know this. So you want to watch his whole body react. You want to see if there's any facial changes. You want to see if he's, you know, like, not necessarily saying the word, but showing in his body gesture, or if he turns slightly away from you or closes up towards your, you know, even if he doesn't say it because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, just notice if he reacts, what is that reaction? And then say to him, did you notice that you lifting your eyebrows or you're closing your body towards me? Do you not like my suggestion?
So usually when they do that, it means that they're not liking the suggestion?
Not necessarily, but if men, you know, it's the same. If a woman asks a man, do you think my backside got a little bit bigger? Is he going to tell you honestly what he thinks? No, why? Because he doesn't want you to have a fit and, you know, spoil the whole day because now...
Because he knows we women, when you're told that you've gained weight, we don't want to hear that.
Yeah, so he wants to say something that pleases you. But and even though he might say yes, he might mean no. So you want to look for what he means. And if he looks like there's some kind of resistance, just if you notice there's some kind of resistance, then be sensitive. You know, we know how to do that. Women is better at politics than anybody else.
And you also mentioned to being sincere about your needs.
Yes.
Can we get into that as well?
Yes. So I mentioned already, say how you feel about the way that he dresses without attacking him or offending him. You know, just express that, you know, he is an extension of you unconsciously. It's the same way that your kids are. And whatever else it is that you feel. And one way to say what you need is by watching his resistance, his body language, and using that as an opportunity to open the subject. Because the whole thing about sincerity is, you know, having that conversation.
Okay, another one that you mentioned is imagine it is a game.
Oh, be playful. We are at our best when we're playful and not serious. The last thing you're wanting to think is that you're serious, you know. about him changing the way that he dresses. So make it fun and entertain him, you know.
So it should be as fun as possible.
Yes. I mean, everything, you know, the best way, especially if you want to teach him, you want him next time to dress in the way that you suggest. You want him to integrate that information, so make it fun.
Well, and and another one you mentioned that you must be too quick. Why should you react very quickly?
Don't fuss. He's not a girl. You know, with children, we can fuss with a girl. You can do the hair and, oh, mommy, this dress. And when do you ever see a child that's a little boy trying on one outfit and another outfit? And don't fuss. Know already what you want him to dress in. Don't make him try out different outfits. He's not going to want to repeat that exercise.
So it is, which means that with us ladies as well, we need to understand that men are different from us. We love shopping, we love trying our clothes all the time, but that doesn't mean men like doing that as well.
Not at all, yeah. We are different and the values are different.
And the values are different, definitely. And lastly, I just want to close it up because you mentioned earlier on that you must give him a reward. What kind of reward should a lady actually give to their partners?
It's your partner. What do you not have permission for?
So you need to reward him with anything, everything.
This is completely as a coach.
Okay.
The most important thing about somebody reaching a goal is that you're building for yourself a reward when you achieve it. So don't make him go through all of that and not give him a reward and give him the reward he wants. So there you can really use your imagination.
Okay, so it's better for you to go and say, okay, I want to reward you. What would you want to be rewarded of? Ask him, than rather giving him.
If you don't know, sure. But I don't think any woman don't know what her husband wants. The only trick is just don't get him all dressed up and then reward him there and then. That would be counterproductive.
And I see Kuru there nodding there as well. So he's actually agreeing with you that yes, you know, they should reward us. Adele, unfortunately we've run out of time, but thank you for coming and thank you for the interesting conversation that I just had with you, and I believe that the viewers as well are going to enjoy this show.
Thank you, Lorraine.